revitalizing your soul through the inspired word of Ellen G. White, inspired by God. This is your daily manna coming to you from Eden's Nutritious Streets. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. For January 18th, 2025. This reading is taken from Healthful Living by Ellen G. White, Chapter 17, Appetite. Many are made sick by the indulgence of their appetite. They eat what suits their perverted tastes, thus weakening the digestive organs and injuring their power to assimilate the food that is to sustain life. Thus, the delicate machinery is worn out by the suicidal practices of those who ought to know better. Sin lies at the door. The door is the mouth. If the appetite is allowed to rule, the mind will be brought under its control. One of the strongest temptations that man has to meet is upon the point of appetite. As our first parents lost Eden through the indulgence of appetite, our only hope of regaining Eden is through the firm denial of appetite and passion. The controlling power of appetite will prove the ruin of thousands when, if they had conquered on this point, then they would have had the most moral power to gain the victory over every other temptation of Satan. But those who are slaves to appetite will fail in perfecting Christian character. As we near the close of time, Satan's temptation to indulge appetite will be more powerful and more difficult to overcome. Power of appetite. One of the strongest temptations that man has to meet is upon the point of appetite. Between the mind and the body, there is a mysterious and wonderful relation. They react upon each other. To keep the body in a healthy condition is to develop its strength, that every part of the living machinery may act harmoniously should be the first study of our life. To neglect the body is to neglect the mind. It cannot be to the glory of God for His children to have sickly bodies or dwarfed minds. To indulge the taste at the expense of health is a wicked abuse of the senses. Those who engage in any species of intemperance, either in eating or drinking, waste their physical energies and weaken moral power. They will feel the retribution which follows the transgression of physical law. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Proverbs 9, verse 10. Those who overcome as Christ overcame will need to constantly guard themselves against the temptations of Satan. The appetite and passions should be restricted and under the control of an enlightened conscience, that the intellect may be unimpaired, the perceptive powers clear, so that the workings of Satan and his snares may not be interpreted to be the providence of God. Many desire the final reward and victory which are to be given to overcomers, but are not willing to endure toil, privation, and denial of self, as did their Redeemer. It is only through obedience and continual effort that we shall overcome as Christ overcame. Our habits of eating and drinking show whether we are of the world or among the number that the Lord, by His mighty cleaver of truth, has separated from the world. Christ began this work of redemption by reforming the physical habits of man. In order for us to enjoy the natural appetite, which will preserve health and prolong life, God restricts the appetite. He says, "Beware, restrain, deny unnatural appetite." In its natural state, the taste might indicate in a great degree the food best adapted to the wants of the system. This, the taste, might be corrected if the appetite had never been perverted. There is a natural and there is a depraved appetite. I therefore beseech you to be hearers as well as doers of the Word of God and the inspirational pen of Ellen G. White. Be sure to listen tomorrow for another Daily Manna coming to you from Eden's Nutritious Street. Thank you for listening. That thou mayest prosper